June and Jennifer Gibbons were born into a world of sound, yet they chose total silence. For nearly 20 years, the identical twins refused to communicate with anyone but each other, creating a private language so fast and distorted it remained unintelligible to the outside world. They weren't physically unable to speak. They were locked in a silent pact that would eventually lead them to the gates of Broadmoor Hospital, one of the most high-security psychiatric facilities in the world. Growing up in a predominantly white community in Wales during the 1960s and 70s, the sisters felt like isolated outsiders. Their reaction was to retreat into a shared inner life of startling complexity. In the shadows of their bedroom, they became prolific writers, filling dozens of notebooks with intense, dark novels and poems. But as they entered their late teens, their creative energy soured into a desperate need for recognition. They began a frantic, amateur crime spree, theft, burglary, and arson, not for personal gain, but for the thrill of finally being noticed by a society that had ignored their silence. The judicial system had never seen anything like them. Labeled sociopathic and unreachable, the twins were sentenced to indefinite detention at Broadmoor. For 11 years, they lived in a state of codependency so extreme that staff observed them performing mirror movements, eating and walking in perfect, eerie synchronization. But beneath the silence, a grim realization had taken hold. They believed that for one of them to truly live and be free, the other had to die. In 1993, as the sisters were being transferred to a lower security clinic, Jennifer turned to their only close confidant, journalist Marjorie Wallace, and whispered, "I'm going to have to die." Within hours of their arrival at the new facility, Jennifer collapsed. She died that evening of acute myocarditis, a sudden inflammation of the heart that left doctors baffled, as there was no evidence of poison or foul play in her system. Following her sister's death, the silence finally broke. June began to speak to the world, describing her sister's passing as a sacrifice that allowed her to finally be an individual. Jennifer was buried under a headstone featuring a poem written by June. It is a story that defies psychological explanation, a reminder that the bonds we forge for survival can sometimes become the very things that consume us.